welcome, Yaluguru Namaskara. Great to be here today. And I have a fabulous panel here in front of me, from technology to people in policy who are from graduates from IIT, and as our Chief Minister talked about, the new organization that's come in as the BMLTA and how that's going to be driven. So thank you so much for all being here today, and look forward to an interesting conversation and some insights of how we can think of mobility 2040. So the first question I had in mind was trying to understand a little bit about what we always, Dr. Saleem, which has always been on everyone's mind, is what are we going to do as you've taken over this new role? You've written a book on traffic, you're a doctorate on this. There's no better person to be heading this for Bangalore. And probably on most citizens' mind is what, as you take on this new role, how are you envisioning, both certain short-term initiatives that can help trigger, and also how you see the longer-term side of it in this new role of traffic management, an important part of Bangalore.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Deccan Herald, for organizing such a good, lively seminar, I can say, for forecasting the future of Bangalore, particularly for the next 20 years, how Bangalore should be. First of all, as far as traffic management is concerned, Bangalore, as you know, has been, I can say, little infamous for traffic. Particularly, there are many reasons. I think our Honorable Chief Minister had mentioned some of the causes or reasons why we had traffic problems across the city. Particularly, if you see the growth of the city itself, the growth of the city right from, say, 70s, when we had the major public sector undertakings were established here, the HMT, BEL, BHEL, and so many other organizations. That was the first stage of growth we had in Bangalore. And this first stage in that growth, actually the travel need was not much. That is why we never had traffic problems. In fact, the residential colonies were built next to the public sector undertakings, like, for example, HAL, or if you see the HMT or BEL, the colonies, they came there itself. The housing requirements were given along with the establishment, along with the very, very close to the establishment. And also some buses also. Even today also we see sometimes those famous buses, the HAL bus, HMT bus, BEL bus. So those public transport was so much that there was hardly any need for travel. That is why Bangalore, even though it had grown so much in the 70s, 80s, even up to mid-90s, but still there was not much traffic problem, because the public transport was so good and it was used for commuting. But then subsequently, the next phase of development which came with the IT industry and also other big organizations coming to the city, the need for travel started. That is where we had the segregation of industries on the southeast part of the city, and the residents have to come from the west and south. So that commuting or the need for travel started. That's how we started. We started to experience the traffic problems. And in fact, a lot of work has been done over, can say, last 2 decades to mitigate the traffic situation. And but still, the mismatch between the ever-growing population, because our population growth is almost 4% annually, and our vehicle population is almost 10% annually. So that if you see the last 2 decades, our population has doubled, and the vehicle population has multiplied several times. In fact, we have approximately we have 1.3 crore population, that is 13 million population. For that, we have got 10 million vehicles. To be precise, it is 1 crore 7 lakh vehicles we have today in Bangalore city. Although all these 1 crore 7 lakh vehicles may not be on the road every time, only about 20 to 22 lakh vehicles generally approximately will be there on the roads. But still, because of the capacity problems and also the slow growth in public transport system, somehow people started using more personal vehicles, private vehicles, congesting the roads. That has, to a large extent, contributed to congestion. And thirdly, apart from lack of adequate public transport and capacity problem on roads, we have also the parking problems. Parking is a major issue in the city. Nowhere we have parking facilities for people, because although the number of vehicles are increasing, and also commuting is through private vehicles are more, but still the inadequate parking facilities has also one of the major problem as far as traffic management is concerned. Today we are trying hard to ensure that in the available infrastructure, we can manage the traffic in a much optimum manner, and to ensure that people journey time gets reduced considerably. Towards that end we are working on. Now coming to the future, about for the next 2 decades, what today's entire seminar is focused on. I can say we have 3-4 options. The best option is to go for public transport. Although the heavy investment has happened in the last decade on building good metro connectivity. In fact, metro managing director is here. He will watch for me. And the work also on metro is also is very faster. In fact, the amount of work which is happening now, if everything is completed, maybe say within 2 or 3 years, then we have huge connectivity, particularly in the congested corridors. And to a large extent, we can have a much better connectivity as far as commuting is concerned. And apart from that, the investment on commuter rail, that is suburban rail system, and also along with that, if the BMTC buses are augmented, at present we have got about 6,500 buses. If these are increased to say about 10 to 12,000 buses, then we have one of the best public transport system, which can match other cities, particularly in the international arena. Because today, at present, the modal share of public transport is only about 48%. And the modal share for private and personal vehicle is 42% for both two-wheelers and cars. If we can reduce this personal vehicle share to say about less than 20% and increase the public transport share to 75 to 80%, then a lot of traffic decongestion will happen, and we can make the city a much more, I can say, commuter friendly and much more livable. And secondly, the focus should be for integration of these different modes of transport. The commuter rail or the metro bus, or even the smaller buses from BMTC can, for feeder services, so that a seamless connectivity can happen. And apart from that, the public transport should also be a little economical, in the sense it should be cheaper, and it should be faster. You can say the commuting in the public transport should be much more faster compared to commuting in a personal vehicle. If that happens, then there will be a huge shift from the usage of personal vehicles towards public transport. And thirdly, we need to have a TOD, that is transit-oriented development, because development is having haphazardly. But if you focus on the TOD, which is now the DULT is also doing a great job on developing a good TOD policy for the entire city. That is another boon which can happen to decongest the city's traffic. Thirdly, although public transport definitely will help in decongesting the city, but still we will have number of vehicles also will grow. Right now we have got about 10 million vehicles, but it is expected that we may be having more than 20 million vehicles by 2040. So because vehicles, the purchase of vehicles is not linked to only transportation or commuting. It is also something called as aspiration or ambition also is linked to that. For example, any person wants to have a car or a two-wheeler, at least minimum. A person, particularly if you interview any college student, if he is 18-year-old, his ambition or his aspiration will be to have a two-wheeler. Any person who is started earning, he would like to have a car. So it is not that the car is required for him, or his commuting is dependent on his personal vehicles. Even though if the bus stop is right opposite his house, or metro connectivity is still there for him, but still he needs a personal vehicle as a aspirational thing. And that is one of the reasons we can see Saturday evenings, if you see Saturday afternoons after 4 o'clock in the CBD area, the entire CBD area will be choco-block, because large number of people bring their families in their own way. Though they may be commuting to their workplace in public transport, But when it comes to leisure or shopping or something, they would like to have their own vehicle and they want to come in their own vehicle. That is the reason why Saturday we have huge traffic issues in the CBD area. So although we may have good public transport, but still the road network should be also augmented, because we are going to continue to have more vehicles on road. Lastly, parking. Parking is one of the major issues, as I have already told. The parking facilities should be created. In fact, we should have more multi-level car park facilities across the city. Although few things have been done here and there by BBMP, and also BMTC has constructed many public MLCPs. But little more such facilities needs to be created, so that adequate parking facilities, if it is available, then commuting will become much more easier, and the city can be much more livable. So finally, the most important thing is the discipline on roads, which we generally focus on that. If we have got good discipline on roads, definitely we can have better traffic flow on the roads, particularly the lane discipline, which is sadly very lacking in the city. And also the city has a very big record of booking the highest number of cases against traffic violators. That is more than 10 million cases last year we have booked. 1 crore 4 lakh cases we have booked. So that is not a, I can say, a good thing, or I can say something which we are proud of. So we expect that these numbers will come down once more discipline comes on the road. For that, the people should adhere to traffic laws and have more discipline on roads. So with this, I again hand over back to the Mr. Maini for further comments. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Saleem. So discipline and common sense, I believe, is something we can start immediately as citizens of Bangalore. It's an easy one for us to look at it. You talked about public transportation and how we should move from a 48% to 75 to 80%, which is probably in a lot of the future cities. And that's probably a good way into speaking with Anjum about how we think about the metro and multimodal transportation system, because it's not just about the metro being there, but how well we can integrate first mile, last mile. And what is BMRC's initiatives in that? And does that now fall under the BMLTA, or how does this, who's responsible for multimodal transportation, for first mile, last mile integrated with metro? Helpful to understand your thoughts and how that would go forward.
A very good morning to all the eminent personalities sitting here. My colleagues, Chetan, Saleem, Guruprasad. See, we are talking about Vision 2040 Bangalore. And our Honorable Chief Minister has covered a lot of issue on what should be the city look like by the time we reach 2040. Not only in terms of mobility, but in terms of industry, the standard of living of the people, and so and so. Now, we are one of the players in fulfilling that dream. And I always tell that one of the reasons why we are at this situation, whether it is city of Bangalore, whether it is city of Delhi or Bombay, or you take any second tier city, the main reason is that after the independence, for pretty long time, we did not bother about urban area much. And we always lived in the dream that we will be able to stop the people at the village level by providing them good infrastructure. But the education is in the urban area, the health is in urban area, litigations are in urban area. So very difficult to stop the people unless we start behaving like China or something like Japan, giving huge incentive to the people to go back to the villages. So that is one of the reasons, but very late I can tell you that the revolution of mass transit system, what we call, where metro is one of the part of that. There are other mode of mass transit system. And although it started in 1984 in Calcutta, but it was on a very, very small scale. And then actual game changer was the Delhi Metro. And once the Delhi Metro was completed, people saw its success. And then only in 2005 in the city of Bangalore, we started thinking about that, why not to have a metro in Bangalore also. But there also we lost a lot of time from 2005 to almost about 2008-9. It was more of a discussion rather than coming to a multiple options we had discussed at that point of time. But only in 2011 we were able to start the metro. Construction started, and by 2017 we completed the first phase of the metro, that is about 46.2 kilometer. That also came in phases. So initially the footfall was pretty less, but gradually it increased. But after that, there is no looking back as far as the metro is concerned. And you know very well that after the phase 1, the phase 2 was sanctioned. After that, phase 2A and 2B is sanctioned, where the work is going on, and it is going on at a very, very good pace because of the support that we are getting from the people. Because in the beginning, there was a lot of issue as far as the land acquisition is concerned. Nobody was ready to give the land, maybe because the compensation which was being paid was not enough at that point of time, and we changed the policy of compensation, and now we are paying 2.5 times of the guidance value as the compensation for the land, which so everybody is ready to give the land, and that is one issue which have been sorted out. Another major hurdle which we faced during the implementation was the issue of environment, especially because when we are taking this kind of infrastructure, definitely trees are going to come on the right of way, and that was a big issue. Every small case was landing in the High Court years together, but thanks to Honorable High Court, they form a committee, and it is very, very systematic that whether it is my metro project or whether it is any other project, BBMP project or anything, the process is very simple. Now, what I'm trying to say that when we want to solve the problem of a city, we have to take a very, very holistic view. And it needs a lot of changes in the procedure and the way we are going to implement it. So this tree cutting, I can tell you, which was taking earlier 2 years' time to get a permission for removal of the tree or the translocation of the tree. Now it is completed in just 3 months' time. So you can imagine what kind of time that we are saving. So we are working on phase 2A and 2B, and our expectation is that by 2025 December, which I told in earlier forum also, that we'll be able to complete our phase 2A and 2B also. And with that, we'll be able to complete about 175 kilometer of metro will become operational in Bangalore, which will be a very good network, and almost all the people living in Bangalore, they will be able to go from one part of the city to another part of the city. Now, another thing which CM told in the morning that thanks to Honorable Chief Minister and the state of Karnataka, that they gave the approval for phase 3, which is about another network of about 50 kilometers, which is going from JP Nagar 4th phase to Hebbal, and that will take care of the problem of the western side of the ring road, rather than the clockwise movement of the metro will be done. And CM did not mention one more thing which he did last year budget. He announced a new line that is starting from the Sarjapur village and crossing through Kormangla, Shantinagar, coming to Kaveri Junction, and then taking a turn and going and meeting at Hebbal. So these are things which are coming in future. After some time, we'll be seeing metro coming on the inner ring road, which is going to be completely underground. So our vision is that 2040 is a long time, but we have a vision of 2031 itself, that by 2031, Bangalore should have a network of 314 kilometers of metro. And if we are able to complete that thing, the whole face of mobility will change. But I always say that just constructing metro is not going to take care of the problem. One of the basic habits that we have to inculcate, that we have to develop the zeal and develop the tradition of walking in the city, because no metro station is going to come at your doorstep. So people should be ready to walk at least 1 kilometer maximum, or at least 400, 500 kilometers. If the people start doing that thing, I think that a lot of problem of Mr. Saleem will be solved then and there itself. But the metro alone, I never see as a solution of the mobility. At the same point of time, there are BMTC buses which are running. The government has to think a lot on that how to improve that services, because they are the people who take the people to the closer to their houses. Then we have taxis, then we have autos, and metro. You ask rightly that who has taken the responsibility of the multi-modal integration. I can tell you with the pride that that responsibility have been taken by the metro itself.
Excellent.
And we are working in a big way as far as the multimodal integration is concerned. And we always say that multimodal integration is not only about physical integration of the mode of transportation. It is much more than that. And there it comes, the common mobility card is one thing, common ticketing is another thing. And we are working on that. And in fact, I'm very happy to share with you that very shortly we are going to launch our common mobility card, which was which is the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister, that there should be one card which should be valid in the entire country, whether you are going to Delhi or Bombay, the same card. So the RuPay card is going to be our card which is going to be used. And as far as the multimodal integration is concerned, we are connecting metro with the K-Ride, we are connecting metro with the Indian Railway Station, we are connecting metro with all the BMTC, TTMC, wherever it is possible. And in fact, recently, now we are very shortly, we are going to start the Banshankari connectivity, where the metro will be connected to BMTC, to the temple and all these places, so that the road congestion at the ground level is reduced. And another very important thing which we are thinking, that how to promote the CM was mentioning, and Madam Majumdar was also mentioning, that this is the city which is the city of startups, and a lot of startups are coming, and a lot of people are working that how to do a kind of integration between the autos, between the bike taxi, with the Ola, Uber, direct linking the ticketing with the metro. And that I have already had discussion with many people on this front, and I am ready to share my API as far as the security concerns are taken into account. And we want to open this window to everybody, that they can develop the app and they can start using that app to book the ticket for the metro also. And very recently we launched a QR code based ticketing system, so that another very important thing is that people should not come and wait at the metro station for the ticket, because that is a big disincentive for them, that you are coming and spending almost about 15 minutes time on your queue and all. So with the QR code, I'm very happy that almost about 15 to 20,000 people are using that app for the QR code generation, and they're using that thing. So that time is getting, and my dream is that the metro station should not be only a place to catch the metro. The metro station should become the center of life of the people of Bangaloreans. So my dream is that if you are coming back from your office and if you want to buy the vegetable or something different for your house, you should be able to buy at the metro itself. So that, because I always believe that unless you reduce the requirement of travel in the city, the problem of traffic cannot be solved. And we have to start looking in that direction. And I will not take much of time, just 2-3 minutes I will take. So one of the major decisions which have been taken by the government, the present government, is that the transit-oriented development policy have been approved. And that is a big achievement. It was due for a very, very long time. And now the TOD rule is going to come. So this is basically for the densification of the mass transit corridors. It can be a metro, it can be an outer ring road, it can be peripheral ring road, it can be an area near the BMTC, TTMC. The whole idea is that densify the corridor and start giving permission for the mixed use. So the places can be used for the residences also, places for the office also. So your office should not be very far from the place where you are staying, and that way the requirement of your travel will be stopped. Metro stations will develop as a center of activity, so that is another thing. And I'm very thankful to the corporate people of Bangalore as well as the big apartments, and they are coming forward to give a direct connectivity to their campuses. So like Infosys Foundation, they are taking a connectivity from the Electronic City Metro station. Then our Madam Majumdar is taking for his factory. Their embassy is coming forward. And recently, the outer ring road work which we are doing on the 2A, we have made a provision of a walkway below the viaduct itself. So it's just a provision. So tomorrow, if somebody comes and says that I want a connectivity from, say, Iblur station to my campus, it can just move along the metro viaduct itself and take a left or right turn and go to their campus. So those kind of things that we are doing, multimodal integration. BMLTA is going to be a game changer, because right now every player is moving its own direction. So BBMP is moving its own direction, we are moving in my own direction, BMTC is moving in own direction. There is no common forum where all these issues can be sorted out. And I'm very happy that Honorable Chief Minister in the Belgaum session, the BMLTA bill have been passed, and in future we will have a better integration that what we see in Singapore kind of thing, and I'm very sure that in coming days there can be a single transport authority in Bangalore also, which is running metro also, which is running buses also, and other way of transport also we can integrate in that. So a lot of things are happening, and as far as the Bangalore metro is concerned, our focus is the safety, our focus is the affordability. So you'll be surprised to know that the day metro was started in 2015-16, till now we have not increased our fare. And the reason is that it's the green mobility. So it is not like the diesel, the Russia attacked Ukraine and the prices are going up and you are in trouble. It's not like that. So we are utilizing the electricity. So all the metros are electric trains which we are doing, but we are going one step ahead of that, even if you use the electricity somewhere in the village, the coal is being burned. So we want to cut down on that also, and in a big way we are going for the solar panels, and recently I have given a tender where we are going to generate 20 megawatt of solar energy, which is going to be used for the metro, and every day we'll be generating about 80,000 units. Not only that, we have come up with a new technology that is called brake energy. So whenever you stop the train, the brake is applied, and that creates a reverse energy. And that energy we are going to tap and put it back to the system. And by doing that itself, we'll be saving 20% on the energy consumption. So we are trying to make that how we can make the metro as a real green mobility thing. Now coming to the electric vehicle, because in coming future, metro is going to play an extremely important role. I always tell the people that the kind of network that I'm going to have with hundreds of stations, nothing can be a better place than metro station to putting your vehicle charging machines or the swapping machine. I am very happy that lot of companies are coming forward. I have a simple policy of first come, first serve, so we don't want to enter into the tendering business. The rates are flat. Anybody who is interested, your people also came last week, Sun Mobility, they wanted to start at 15 stations. I told more than happy, that is my requirement also, so I've given that approval also. So we are going to play an extremely important role as far as the electric mobility is concerned, because ultimately, when we talk about Vision 2040, what is that we are discussing about? We are discussing about a clean city, we are discussing about a sustainable city, and if that has to be achieved, our requirement on fossil fuel has to come down. The Saleem Saab has to do something to reduce the traffic congestion. Ashwath Narayan sir is sitting here as a government. He has to give us money to create the big infrastructure. And I think by doing all these things, we'll have a great time in 2040. By that time, I'll be retired. I'll be able to enjoy Bangalore in a better way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guru, just before I come to you, just one quick question. How many of you all use the metro here? Be honest. Okay.
Big number.
Right. How many of you would use the metro if in the morning you put an app, you had something that picked you up, did the first last mile seamlessly, got you to the next place, seamlessly got you to work, and it took 20% less time and cost you 30% cheaper? All right. So I think the key for us is going to be, and you talked about multimodal transportation, is that link that we could probably do. And this would come to, Guru, your point of view is, how do you start to see technology, start to play a role? Bosch has been doing so much globally. You've got a lot of learnings from other places. What do you see certain things that we could incorporate in terms of technology and your learnings to make, as we've talked about, a clean, green, connected, and more convenient form of transportation?
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me on the panel. Thank you, Purvankara and Deccan Herald for organizing this sort of look-ahead series of sessions, which are really today in need of the hour, while 2040 may look really far away. But the things we do today are really what matter for 2040. So there I see a lot of relevance from what is being done today. I may be a very bad example of a Bangalore commuter creating a lot of movement for myself. I mean, I travel 25 kilometers every day from one end of town to the other end to work. So really a bad example. And I'm sure if we ask for a raise of hands, there are a lot of people in the audience who will also raise their hands to say, I also do an equal amount of travel. So I think this is one of the things we really need to look at in terms of how we plan better and what do we do for the future. But there I must already compliment Dr. Saleem that over the last 1 month, I've already seen Hebbal flyover getting more predictable. I mean, it was absolute nightmare earlier, and now once the management of traffic started to happen, unfortunately, even on the flyover, we have started to move. So that's really a compliment. I think it just shows that even small things really help. So in terms of what we've been doing at Bosch, of course, we being a global company, and we just finished 100 years in India last year. We continuously learn from global experiences in terms of what is being done in other great cities around the world in terms of how people move, how goods moves, how we can learn from that and bring it back into the Indian context. So in just as recently as last year, we started the Bosch GIZ partnership, which is partnership, which comes from sort of an Indo-German partnership on how do we do green urban mobility decongestion, and how do we take care of creating an open platform where we can work together to collaborate, to ideate, and to create solutions which are relevant for cities in India by very well understanding what are the problems each of these cities undergoes. And the problems in each of these cities is really unique, and we really need to do that specifically. We also start to look at what solutions can we create in terms of mobility platforms. This is something we've been very active over the last couple of years in terms of building a real open platform, which of course we also realize that we cannot solve the problems alone. No company or no, be it in the public sector or in the private, can solve all these issues alone. So we are looking at more a partnership model where we can orchestrate, others can orchestrate, in building a platform which is robust enough, which is digitally enabled, which has lots of learning, which brings in sensor data, which understands traffic flows, which is able to mitigate many of the problems of the cities that we undergo today. We are looking at how, based on all these assets we create, we can offer open APIs which can be used by others to build, for example, smart parking, which is today a major cause of issues where people move around, create more traffic congestion just to find parking problems or parking slots. So some of these can be easily mitigated through intelligent understanding of where the traffic is, where the parking slots are, and how can they be guided, what can be done for monetizing these parking slots. So these are solutions that we've been creating through our mobility platform, and this is an open platform which is also available for others. Of course, Bosch has technology legacy, and just like many others in the auto space, we do quite a lot of solutions for mobility, including the green mobility, be it in the form of greener combustion engines, which will still last a long time, or electric vehicles, which are coming up very rapidly now. So we do quite a lot of that. We work on a lot of solutions for safety, and of course also for connected and shared mobility, which is a key element in solving the overall puzzle on how we are able to move more efficiently. And I'm sure with initiatives like Gati Shakti, which are coming in as we go forward, there's going to be a lot more of technology backwards work that will happen with both private and public companies, which will help mitigate many of the issues that we are going through today.
Thank you so much, Guru. Guru, you brought up an important point of open platform. And, you know, Bangalore has been the architects for the Aadhaar and for the UPI, right? And Next is creating an OS for a city where all of these could plug in and we could use it in a very meaningful manner. If we were to architect something like this as an open platform, you know, very specifically, if I were to go around here, what is two things that you all as your groups could contribute as data to this open platform? And what are two things you're looking for that will enable your system to be more efficient? So maybe just two specific things, since we have short time, if each of you all could just tell us.
Yeah. In fact, you have raised a very, very important because if you see from the availability of data, every organization of government, whether it is Metro, whether it is BMTC, whether it is police department, we have tremendous data. But unfortunately, we are not sharing this data with each other, and that was the initiative which was taken as a part of the Smart City initiative. So the Smart City, there is a proposal to bring all these players on a common platform, and the government of India has also started an initiative, something called Urban Center, where everybody is going to put the data there, and from there, anybody who wants to utilize these data to develop something more or some common platform kind of thing, then this data can be utilized. I'll just tell you that recently we have signed an agreement with the Google, and Google, we are sharing the data on a regular basis, and based on that, they have their backend engine which they are converting the static weekly data into a dynamic data, and they are utilizing on their app. So if you are using their app, you can find out that which is the nearest metro station, what time the trains are going to go from there, what mode of transport you can do. I'm working with another company called Citylity. We are working with 2-3 more company, and we are ready to share this API of My Metro as well as all the data which they need, because after all, if anybody is getting benefited and ultimately developing something, and if the citizens are going to get benefited of that, as far the metro is concerned, we are ready to share all kind of data as long as the person who is going to utilize this data is only using for its purpose and not selling in the market and utilizing for some other reason. And their security system should be very, very robust. So that's the only criteria. And I fully agree with you that we all have to come on a common platform. Like for BMTC, we get a lot of data. We are also sharing with BMTC, so that, because one thing is very important, when my metro work is increasing, metro network, the BMTC is going to bear the burnt. Like, for example, if I start my Whitefield to Bayappanhalli, a lot of buses which are starting from the ITPL will not be getting enough passenger for that. So a lot of route rationalization is required in the BMTC, and that is possible to do only when the metro and the BMTC sit together. And similarly, like recently we started a prepaid auto kind of system. So we are going to generate a lot of data from the prepaid auto system itself, that from where people are coming to which metro stations. And that is very important to provide the feeder services. In fact, many companies in the Whitefield area are doing already this survey, and they are going to identify that Whitefield, like which are the people who are going to come to the Whitefield, so that we can focus in terms of the feeder services. I'll just take this opportunity to add one more thing, that the BMTC is also working on starting a lot of feeder services, and more than that, the private companies are coming forward. In fact, I'm in touch with the people who are on the outer ring road and the Whitefield area, and they are demanding whether they can be permitted to run their own buses. So that's a legal issue, and sir is sitting here. I will request him to take up this matter, because what they want, that if they take the BMTC buses and run from their company, it may not work out economical. So why can't they be given permission exclusively for this purpose, that they are picking the passenger from different company and leaving to the metro? And similarly, the sharing of the taxi is another thing which is pending in Bangalore for a very, very long time. So if the sharing of taxi is permitted, then maybe that the number of requirement of the vehicles will come down. But as for the data is concerned, from Bangalore Metro, we are ready to share all kind of data, except the data which are very, very crucial for us, which cannot come in the public. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Saleem, if I were to just look at, say, as traffic, if you were to manage traffic better, what data would help you that other stakeholders can provide you where we could make meaningful impact on the traffic side?
Well, we are now going to infuse technology in enforcement of traffic laws. For that, we are totally dependent on the transport department data, particularly the ownership of vehicles and also the driver details. So this is the most important component for us as far as the challaning, that is automated challaning system is concerned. In fact, we have Bangalore city was the first city. Way back in 2003 itself, we started automated challaning system. But because of the problem with the data transfer from transport department, somehow we could not be able to sustain this for a long time. In fact, today, although we are now booking cases about 60 to 65% through the manual mode, but still a long way to go. As the Honorable Chief Minister has mentioned in his speech, that since most of the traffic officers and men are today are on the road doing regulatory work and not booking cases, that has helped traffic flow immensely. So that is the future. Actually, we want to go to 100%, and 100% all cases should be booked through technology only. For that, the automatic data transfers from the transport department to traffic police, particularly when change of ownership happens. Because generally we see a lot of challans which we generate generally go to the wrong person. The person might have already sold his vehicle. And that is why the response or the compliance to these challans will be very less. So most important thing what we need is the automatic transfer of data from transport department, not only from the Karnataka, from all over the state. Because since Bangalore see almost 2 to 3 lakh vehicles coming from other states also every day. So we need data, robust data of all the vehicle owners as well as the driving license details also. Secondly, we also need the cooperation of the insurance companies. Because generally every vehicle, 100% they have to be insured. Every year, every vehicle goes for insurance renewal. And a lot of our challans, particularly our notices, what we send, are not complied with. So if we link that, our notices or our challans with the insurance renewal, then we can see 100% compliance of all the traffic violations, and we can have much more discipline on roads.
Thank you so much, Dr. So, Guru, I'm going to put you a little on the spot. You said open platform. We have Anjum here saying, listen, I have no problem sharing some of the data. You've talked about APIs. I mean, Bangalore's about, as the Chief Minister also mentioned, about citizens and organizations coming together, right? We have 3 important stakeholders here. You're talking about creating an open platform. We have transport needing data, and Metro can give us. How can we start using this and making things right now where there is data privacy, but we start using open platforms? What are your challenges if we were to take this and make Bangalore an ideal city as an open architecture platform for parking, traffic management, multimodal transportation that everyone can use? It's not belonging to one person, it's an open solution. What are some of your thoughts around that?
Okay, Chetan, I think you brought up the topic of city OS, city operating system. We can firstly learn from where it's been done better. So, for example, the London city does it extremely well in terms of orchestrating it as a city OS. What does a city OS include? I think it includes 2 parts broadly. One is the transaction engine, the other one is the learning engine. The transaction engine sort of connects people. So connects people or the movement. For example, how people are moving from A to B, be it in an auto rickshaw or a 2-wheeler or a private vehicle or a metro or a public bus or even suburban. So these are the typical transactions that happen which the city OS needs. Of course, there's a good city which needs to move forward and which needs to be the best in terms of movement of people and goods, needs to develop an extremely good learning engine. So the learning engine starts to make use of the data which is on offer today to sort of create an environment where you learn from what is happening and then you start to plan not only for today but also for the future. And this is where I think technology plays a key role. This is where we can bring in a lot of elements in terms of data analytics, artificial intelligence, learn from what has been done all over the world. And we have lots of mobility solutions which are using these techniques already to say, how would traffic flows be and how can traffic flows be remodeled? And we offer this directly to you, sir. Already today, I think we can come over and demonstrate some of these simulations that we are able to do in our engines and show you how this can be changed and how this can be re-architected. And of course, as an open platform, it's not going to be easy for one company or two companies to really solve each element of this. We need participation of a lot of people, including a lot of startups which are native to Bangalore or otherwise, to come in and help solve the whole puzzle. So we are very, very open to offering this as a tool to make the progress here.
Thanks, Guru. I'll just have, I see the big times up there, so I'll just do a closing remark and then we move on. You know, we're today in 2023. If I go back, being a Bangalorean who cycled to school, loved this place and continue to love it, in 2006, we're talking of the same issues. That's where we are. If I look at 2040, we're in 2023 today, we're 17 years, right? And if we're hopefully meeting over a cup of coffee or something at that point, I hope Bangalore is very different. But what is important is, you know, with the BMLTA coming out, with government looking at it, is I don't see a clear plan today at 2040. And I think it will be very helpful for us to see where is the plan for 2040? Where is the annual milestone of that plan in a transparent way? And is that being shared in an accountable way that we can share with the city and the citizens to say that this is the plan for 2040, this is what we will do next year and every year going forward. We course correct, but we're thinking 2040, we're 17 years away. You know, my request to all the stakeholders here and the government is, can we create such a plan, put it in public eyes, and have a transparent way of looking at it. Maybe we don't do things right, but we'll fix it and move forward and course correct. But if we want 2040, for everyone wants that, a great Bangalore city that's sustainable, clean, you know, and livable, then we look forward to all the stakeholders and working to make that happen. I want to thank the panelists a lot. It seems like a lot of data has come out here from what we can do. Open platforms, data sharing are important things we could think of to help and use technology to make this happen here, right?
On every pillar of the metro which is going on, there's an advertisement board, but it looks so shabbily. If you come from RV Road, or if you go all the way up to Mantri Mall, on every metro pillar, there is an advertisement board. In the past, we had the advertisement there. But now, for whatever reason, they say, I've been asking Mr. Vasant, who's your PRO at BMRCL, he says that there's something connected to BBMP has to give the thing. So here we have a man of Bangalore who has been already the deputy chief minister, and I also have Saleem Saab and the former commissioner. My request is to look, since beyond 2040 Bangalore we are looking at it, I think something where we need to take a universal call. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Yes, sir.
I just want to say that after 1 month you will not see, because we have already started removing it, because we did not remove for a simple reason that we're expecting that any time the Bangalore advertisement policy may come, so we can use the same board for the future advertisement, but it is going to take time. So we have decided last week only that all these boards will be removed. And in future, when the advertisement is going to come, it is not going to come in this board format. You will going to have a much more aesthetic LED board, and all those kind of things are coming. So within 1 month, you will not see any advertisement board on any of the pillars. Thank you.